And welcome back, everyone. Welcome back to another weekend edition here of the Sparkling Tuna Cup number 93. Your weekly dose of Cranky Duckling action. I'm of course just VIP with you. I'm joined by these amazing players, by the people in chat, and by my plushies as well. Welcome, one and all. It has been far too long. I do apologize for going on a bit of a hiatus. For those that remember, we did not host the Sparkling Tuna Cup last weekend because of what? Because of the EWC qualifiers. We had a full week of EWC qualifiers, and of course we had to accommodate. We did postpone our events as a result, and we got some catching up to do. Likewise, even before that, I think we had DreamHack as well. We had DreamHack weekend into EWC weekend. So I do apologize for not hosting the Tuna Cup, but now we're here, now we are back, and now we are jumping into our first series of the broadcast. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Ley Lines, we have the South Korean Protoss player. We have the Teal Protoss representing among his two people. It is Prome. And spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have the red Protoss player from the land of Sweden. It is Sigge. Here we go, as we are jumping into our best of 3. And again, exclamation mark be in the chat if you guys want to have a look back yourselves. The bracket is live, the bracket is stacked, the bracket is insane, and we are jumping right into the thick of it here. And we'll be going. There's a lot to go into. There's a lot to get into when it comes to the bracket, so we'll be getting there momentarily. Don't you worry. Until then, I am excited to feature our Swedish player here. For those that have been tuning into the podcast, you would know that Sigge. Oh wait. My apologies. Before I get into that, if you're in the chat, Gamba time. Predictions are open. Place your bets on who you think will claim the series. Best of luck in the chat as we get into our Gamba, of course. But I'm excited to cover Sigge. Sigge? I'll call him Sigge for now. But if you have been following the podcast, you will know that we've been covering him in tournaments. He hasn't been playing too much in our tournaments, but he's been playing in the PassionCraft Emerging Stars tournaments and other online tournaments or online open cups, and he has been doing quite well for himself. He's been improving quite a lot and actually achieving quite high accolades in those more kind of MMR semi-pro restricted tournaments, and has been looking pretty good. And I want to say that Prome is going to be a worthy opponent here. Prome, of course, is the Korean Protoss player. He himself has also recently taken down DRG, of course, during the EWC qualifiers. Infamously did upset DRG and has been very successful in StarCraft Evolution. So Prome, he's likewise an MMR restricted StarCraft Evolution champion. Meanwhile, Sigge being a more winning tournaments, but of course in SC2. So we'll see how they compare to each other, different regions as well, as we have a Robo opener out of our red Protoss. Okay, Robo opener out of our red Protoss. Likewise, we see our Teal Protoss 2-gate opener into what should be a 1-base all in. That's a third gate. Third gateway is being thrown down. Delay on the expansion. Sigge, we're looking at proxy across the map, I would imagine. Yes, the probe is being sent out, and this probe is designed to proxy a 4th gateway. So we have 3 gates at home, 4th gateway across the map. It's going to be a 1-base, 4-gate all-in. Adept does threaten the mineral line, does get 1 probe kill, but again, there is no expansion. Not here, not for Prome. He's ready to proxy. Let's go. So the pylon is being thrown down. We're setting up for that 4th gateway. Now, this probe is delayed because of the Adept. If you recall, the probe had to go the long way around to hide against the Adept. So this is going to be a bit of a delayed all-in, but an all-in nonetheless. And meanwhile, we just see Sigge back at home going for extra gateways. Remember, he went for a Robo opener. Very safe opener out of Sigge. It means that he has safety immortals on the way. That's going to be ideal against an all-in. So far, so good. Safety shield battery, safety Robo, safety immortals. Just really safe play here out of our red Protoss, reading this very well, and with that he has the tools to defend, but it comes down to the execution. Even though he has a robust setup here with a couple of well-placed force fields, Prome, he can lock this army down. He can lock down the immortal and target it down as well. Second immortal's on the way. Oh, he's going for it. He's going for the force fields, and he does lock him in. Yeah, nice force field. He completely locks down the immortal. The immortal is gonna fall, even despite the shield battery. Yeah, it's not gonna be enough. The immortal does go down, but now we have a second immortal. Yeah, second immortal has arrived, but that's still a lot of force fields, and he can do it again. He can and will lock him down again for the second time, but this time the immortal fights back. This time we have reinforcements. This time we have some support. The boys are being pulled out. The immortal down! It does go down. Yeah, the boys being pulled a little bit too late. Yeah, a little bit too late there. Second immortal falls. Does take down all the sentries, but now we have to deal with the stalkers. Oof. That's a lot of stalkers. Yeah, 7, 8 probes going down. Has to pull away. That's a lot of economic damage, but it's about the natural itself. It's about breaking Sigge. I say that Prome did expand. Okay. Did expand behind this. Likewise, another mortal has arrived. And without sentries, I believe Sigge should be okay. I believe he should be able to hold on here. Yeah. He has enough to work with. And now the pressure is on our red portals to confirm what exactly is going on, as he will break out. Okay, he breaks out, he breaks free. Oof. Yeah, picks off all the stalkers, it cleans up the proxy. But the reason why this is happening is because Prome is transitioning, is because Prome, he's not doubling down, he's not continuing to warp in, he's skipping warp ins in favor of the Nexus, in favor of the probes, and with that, Prome takes an economic lead. But tech-wise, he's behind. The Twilight Council is still in the way, and Sigge is turning this defense into an offense. He's building up the Immortals and getting ready for another counterattack, getting ready for Glaives. Glaives are on the way. I was gonna say 2 base all in. Technically, you can take a 3rd with this, but still be like hyper aggressive, hyper committed. Glaives is being chronoed as we speak, and Sigge, he wants to move out here and now before Prome stabilizes. And Prome is stabilizing. Shield batteries are on the way, extra warpins as well. Gases are being taken. Prome, with given time, he will be able to get into Blink, into his own upgrades. He's massing up his own army. Glaives still being researched. Likewise, there aren't actually that many adepts with the army. There's no prism either, so no way to reinforce across the map. So this is a little bit of a disjointed attack here from our red Protoss, but he's moving out regardless. Oh, share my in the chat, share my puppy, share my. As adepts they do shade into the main. Yeah, they shade in. The wall was open. Probes are getting one shots. So far, 1, 2, 3 probes going down. But again, the adept count is just not really there. 3rd base now being taken, but we are still waiting for that War Prism. The fast blade. Oh, the force field though! Very nice force field. Likewise, clutch recall. Does recall in time. Blink is halfway done. And again, despite rushing into Glaives, like we never really made use of the upgrade, to be honest. We're still not making the War Prism. There's still no way to reinforce. Otherwise, I feel like with the Warping of Adepts here, Sigge could try to break this. I still could with 3 Immortals, but... Now trying to push forward. Not quite able to break this position. Behind this, of course, is expanding. Forge on the way, Blink as well. Sigge looks like he has kind of changed his mind, or he's kind of adjusting on the fly. Trying to build up towards a longer game state. Does mean he has no intention of trying to break this position, and he shouldn't try. Oh, does catch a Stalker. Not bad. Gets a Stalker. Zones back the army. Once again, pulls away. Prome, he has Blink. Uh-oh. Does Blink in. Does dive, does punish, does get 1 Immortal. Not bad. 1 Immortal goes down. Blinks in once again. This time he gets punished, though. Remember, Blink is on cooldown. Oof. And bleeding out a couple of Stalkers. Stalkers did fall. Likewise, moving in. That's another Immortal does auto forward. And Prome, now he expands, now he claims another base. But Sigge's already been on full 3 base saturation this entire time. Has been mining. Ooh, does punish as well. Sigge getting further ahead. Getting further ahead here. Sure, Prome has he has Blink. Prome does have Blink, but Sigge just now finishing his own. +1, almost done. We have a 2nd Forge on the way for double upgrades. And the pressure is now on Prome to recover in some way. Now, there are ways to do so in PvP. Oh, are we fully walled in? Oh, that's a little bit awkward. With a gateway as well. As will eventually break out. But there are ways to recover in terms of tech, in terms of Dark Shrine, for example. Dark Shrine and going for DTs and going for DT harass. That's why there are cannons. You can see Sigge, he's ahead, so cannon here at the natural, cannon here at the third base as well. No cannon in the main, but cannon at the entrances at least, in case there are Dark Templar. Another way, of course, would just be with War Prism harass, would be with Zealot Rumbies, Stalker counterattack as well, Blink Stalker, I mean, trying to tech and rush into Disruptors. But for the time being, Prome is not quite working in any of those directions. Right now he's playing straight up, which means he's behind. Oh, and he's straying further behind here. As that is 4 Immortals, and Sigge, he's going for the kill. He smells blood in the water. He's going for the throat. Yeah, Prome, the Concave is not in his favor. The Immortals are pinned back, and they aren't actually adding too much DPS to this fight. He has to move forward. Yeah, so a bit of an awkward engagement here from our red Protoss, but it's still going to be enough. Yeah, Stalkers are coming in from behind. Now the Immortals come in and they clean up. They clean house. GG gets called and Sigge will take game at number 1. Whew. GG. GG, well played. We'll take a lead in the series. A strong performance here. Again, just really safe play and really fortunate that Prome was committing into an all-in, into a proxy, into a 4-gate. Eventually, of course, he expanded, but Sigge took a lead from there. He was mining more for longer. He had the second base for a lot longer as well, so he had more resources. Of course, had all those Immortals. The Glaive Depths was a bit of an odd choice, considering he didn't commit, right? He didn't commit into Glaive Depths, not properly. He did kind of step away from it. He decided to expand. Still worked out well for him, though. Still did work out well. GG. GG, well played with that. He will take the lead in the series. Now we're getting ready for game number 2. Likewise, when it comes to the rest of the bracket, we'll be going over that after we wrap up the series to kind of catch up on where we are and where we're headed. And there's a lot of updates. There's a lot to get into, especially in regards to some players competing for the first time in our tournaments. Let's go. We will get there. So jumping into our next game. Go. But I did want to address something. Typically, we have a lot of regulars in our tournaments. Specifically, I'm referring to Geralt and Cristiano, and some more Polish representation. This week, not as much as, or actually I have to fix up, Prome is Protoss, not random. But this week, not as much because of Star Zagora, right? Star Zagora was this week. Did wrap up yesterday. But, of course, a lot of players were traveling, including players like Cristiano and Geralt. They were traveling, of course. They were taking part in that event, so as a result they are not available here to play in this week's tournaments, even though they're typically regulars. Like it's quite rare to not see at least one of them in our tournaments, but this week, you know, they're traveling. Does mean that there are opportunities for other players instead. But here we go, spawning in the bottom hand corner of Persephone, we have the teal Protoss player. We have the South Korean Protoss representing among SE2 people. It is at Prome. Down in the series, we'll see if he can bounce back, we'll see if he can recover. And spawning in the top left-hand corner, we have the red Protoss player from the land of Sweden, leading the series 1-0. It is Sigge. Siege? Sigge? I'll stick with Sigge for now. Wow. So far, a solid performance. But again, it was quite fortunate just when it came to the openers. Remember, Prome was hyper-aggressive and Sigge was hyper-defensive with that robot opener. We'll see if we replicate that success. We'll see if we go for the same openers or if we adjust. I would imagine we're going to calm down. And I would imagine Prome will go for a more standard opener instead. For now, 2-gate opener out of our teal Protoss player. Meanwhile, Sigge going for a gate. Expand? Oh my god, Jesus. Calm down. Gate expand out of our red Protoss. Very greedy opener out of our red Protoss player. Again, even MaxFax rarely does this. So Hazardous, I mean, this is a really big gamble, but I do really like this. Again, we just spoke about it, right? Last game, Prome attempted a one-base all-in, and it failed. This time, the chances of him going one-base all-in are much lower, right? It's a much lower chance from Prome. So this is a risk, this is a gamble, but it is a well-calculated gamble in a best-of series, right? In a best-of-3. Just because of what happened in Game 1, I'm sure that informed the greed of Sigge here in Game 2. Meanwhile, Prome, speaking of greed, do you see what I see? I see a 2-gate opener. True. I see double adept to harass. I see zero scouting. No probe scout. That is a little bit shocking to me. Like, probe scouting is so standard in PvP. It is so normal. Like, everyone does it to count pylons just because proxying and cheese is just so common in this matchup. But Prome, he cuts corners. He avoids the scouts. And as a result, he doesn't know how greedy Sigge is being. It's not like Prome is in danger. Prome is going for a Stargate opener on one base, by the way, before expanding. And he's going to be aggressive himself with the Adepts, that is true. But Sigge, he's fully aware of this. And again, Sigge, he's cutting corners. Unfortunately, because of his SimCity, though, he does not have a wall on top of the ramp, so there's no way to wall up the ramp and or try to stop these Adepts from getting into the main. So the lack of SimCity here is concerning, and it can be punished. As Prome is going to be shading in. Does shade into the middle line. Two Adepts taking one shot probes. They get one, they get two, and they get three. Get three workers towards the end, getting up to 4, getting up to 5. 5 probe kills. Let's say bust into the mineral line, getting up to 7, 8. Oh my god. 8, 9 probes going to be going down, getting up to almost 10. That is brutal damage. Ay, ay, ay. And on the one hand, yes, Sigge was very greedy and he was cutting corners and getting ahead economically. Not anymore. He lost 9 probes, now he's down by 3. It shows how far ahead worker-wise he was. But again, these Adepts, they are punishing and they shade it once again. And the shield battery does nothing. It does nothing. 9 to 10 straight, up to 12. 12 workers going down. Not like this. Adepts finally get shut down. Meanwhile, the Oracle has arrived. We're not done. So despite not scouting Prome, he is punishing the greed here of Sigge. And Prome will take a lead. Behind this, Twilight Council does go for the Twilight Council opener. Oh, sorry, I should say follow-up after the Stargate. Working towards Blink. Meanwhile, there's no tech here for our Red Protoss. He's got Immortal production, but only Immortals. He is moving out. Okay. Does move out across the map. We'll see what he can get done. Back at home, no shield battery. No shield battery. Ooh, there's the NG overcharge. We have a stasis on the way. We'll see if Sigge does notice the shimmer. Doesn't notice. Oh, there is. Oh, ooh, doesn't quite notice. Yeah, it does walk in. Another stasis behind us. Oh no! He steps forward. And does he get baited? Say shade past, they shade into the main base. Yeah, the Oracles, they collapse in. There's one Adept in the main, and boys are being pulled. And the Immortals are being targeted down. Getting one. Ooh, just the one for now. So far, 3 probe kills in the main. That's some damage is done, but that's 3 probes for an Immortal. And Prome maintains his lead. And he should be able to catch the Immortal. And moving in position. There's the Pulsar Beam. And one more shot. Ooh, takes down both Immortals. Expensive losses here for the Red Protoss. Ay, ay, ay. And with that, throwing down his own gateways. Working towards the Forge, working towards +1. Trying to build up. Oh! Oh my god. Jesus. That triple Oracle. I just realized. Prome committed so hard. And he's moving out. The Oracles are low, but they have potential. They can one-shot me while I shout to Captain Fish in the chat. God, oh god, thanks so much. Thanks so much for the raid. Hope you had a good stream. Hope you had a good ladder session. Hope you had a great time. As Oracles, they will threaten the main base. They dive in. We get 1, 2, 3, 4 probe kills. Ooh, 1 Oracle will fall. So far, nice damage. Uh-oh. Oh my god. As the second Oracle barely gets away. Barely does escape. Prome waddling out. Does waddle across. And he does have a pretty substantial lead here. The Stalker counts are pretty close and pretty neck and neck. Both players have Blink. But can it catch out the Immortal? Does hurt down the shield battery. Likewise now going for the Immortal as well. Ooh, doesn't quite dive in. Not quite able to. Nice bait there from Sigge. Baits out the stasis, takes out the Oracle as well. That was the final Oracle, I believe. Oh no, sir. One more. What a mass. One more Oracle left over. At the same time, but FSA shade into the main base. Aye, not again. And they will target down as many workers as they can, getting to 5, 6, 7, 8 probe kills. Can we get 9? Oh, not quite. But 8 probes, a solid amount nonetheless. Probe behind this, claiming his own third. Third bases are on par with each other. Prome, he has chosen not to take into charge, so no charge and a delayed forge here out of Prome. So we do see that Sigge, he is recovering. He is down in workers, that is true, but when it comes to his tech, he's ahead. And when it comes to charge +1, that does have a pretty substantial lead. Likewise, the armies, they pass by each other. Going for the base raid. Stalkers, they're moving in. Third base of Prome under fire. Likewise, Prome dives into the natural waste, going for the Nexus. Does go for the Nexus and will get the kill. At the same time, Sigge also pushing in. Ignores the third base. Blinks into the natural. Nexus goes down. And what's the third? Likewise, probes are falling. Prome losing up to 29 probes. There's that recall. It does recall by Prome. He will try to take the fight, but he will lose the expansion. There's no saving it. He blinks away. Up. Trying to bait him in. No, the bait is real. Yeah, brutal stasis, and with that, Sigge will lose the natural and the third expansion. He's up in probes, but he's not mining. Prome, meanwhile, lost a lot of workers, but he still has all 3 Nexi up and running here. He's mining freely. And does pull back home. Doesn't keep going. It doesn't commit in. Prome pulls back. Pulls back home to defend his bases. Again, Prome's got 0-0 upgrades, so the upgrades are still in lead here. They're still, or Sigge, I should say, still has that upgrade advantage. Now working towards +2. But as time goes on, Prome, he will have the larger army. Right now, the armies are comparable with each other. But given time, that will change. As Prome is resaturating, rebuilding, making more probes. At least should be. And now playing it safe, warping in sentries. He's got his stasis traps. They're set up. They are set. From here, Sigge, he's gonna try to recover. He's gonna try to macro out of this. Now, the problem here is that this means that he's not being overly aggressive. He's not applying any pressure. He's gonna be stuck at home, stuck expanding, and this means that Prome is free to resaturate all of his bases, get a 4th base as well, and just get further ahead. The longer this game goes on, the better it is for Prome. Now, the one thing that Sigge has here is the +2 timing. +2 is now gonna kick in. So there's a window where he has +2 over the +0 of Prome, and I feel like that's going to be the moment to try to strike. But we can see that Sigge is being a little bit more passive. Now moving out, okay. That does move out. Do we end up another base? Oh, we're going for another base. Let's go! As Prome, he does hit the third. Sigge, he should be going for the natural, going for another base trade. That's a kill and a cancel. Stasis traps will delay, but he is moving into the bases. At the same time, we've seen this before. Deja vu. Natural base going to be targeted down. Third base did fall as well. At the same time, Sigge just trying to push into that natural, and he should be able to claim it. Nice force field, locking down the probes. And he blinks on past. Blink past the force field, gets into the main. Same time, Sigge also pushing into the main base as well, going for the production. There is a recall, at least for one. Brittle force field once again, just making sure that no probes escape. No probe gets out. spoke too soon. Prome has one worker. This is the last probe. The last worker of Prome, which means he can proxy a gas. And Sigge has nothing. Sigge has no workers left. The final buildings are all going down. And there it is. There's the pylon. And that will ensure that Prome will win this game, that he will not be eliminated. As Prome is losing his gateways, losing his final pylon. This could have been game. Kills the pylon. But remember, there's 2 pylons in the main base of Sigge. And these are the final buildings. Sigge, no, he can't save them. The one hero Prome. 4 pylons remaining. Down to 3. Soon to be down to 2. And we can see Sigge trying to race on over, but he cannot defend. Yeah, 1 pylon left. And there it is. GG. Prome, he will tie the series 1-1. We are going to the ace match. Whew. GG. Again, if Prome didn't save that 1 probe, if he didn't get across the map and have the ability to throw down those pylons, Sigge would have won. He would have won that game, which would have been crazy. But alas, he did have the wherewithal to keep that probe hidden, to keep it alive, to get across the map, to have some resources to throw down some buildings, and yeah, with that he was secure. GG. GG, well played. We are going to the ace match. Let's go. Let us go. So we are going to game 3. Go. And honestly, this can go either way. Like the way this series, it's been very close, very intense. I feel like a lot of the pace of the game has been set by the opener, both in game 1 and game 2. Game 1, of course, we did have Prome going for the all-in and Sigge being very safe and defending and just taking a lead from there. Game 2 was the opposite. Game 2 was Sigge being very greedy and being punished for that greed. He was punished for it. And with that, we're now getting into the ace match. And game 3 is going to be on Incorporeal. Let's go. Yo, shout out to Ledlix. He really likes this with Robo first. I see. I think you're referring to the gate expand from Sigge. That's we are getting our next game ready. Again, the rest of the bracket is slowly progressing. We're getting there. Beautiful. Just making sure we're all good to go. Oh. And we're getting into the ace match. Again, it's going to be on Incorporeal. Incorporeal being one of the larger maps of the map. Well, not as large as Magnatha, not as defendable as, say, Tokamak, for example, but a large map nonetheless. And we'll see how our players will approach this. And spawning in the bottom right hand corner of Incorporeal, we have the South Green Protoss player. We have the Teal Protoss representing among SC2 people. It is a Prome. And spawning in the top left hand corner, we have the Red Protoss player, the Swedish Protoss, tying up the or being forced, I should say, into the ace match. We'll see if we can bring it back. It is Sigge. Ooh, and this time, remember, last game, Prome did not even probe scout. This time, the probe moves out. It's somewhat scout, but more importantly, to proxy. Let's go. The pylon has been thrown down. Proxy 3 gate? Like, there's no gases here. We're proxying the gateway initially. There's no setup back at home, no gases. Are we going for, like, a flower? Show us what you got. Pylon is done. How many gates? 1, 2. We're going up to 3? Up to 4? There's the 3rd. And here comes the 4th gateway. So we're going full coconut. Let's go. As he's setting up here for the proxy 4 gates. So 1 base, a 4 gate all in. Not quite the flower. It's not quite as aesthetic, unfortunately. But you know what? It's close enough. Close enough. Let's go. So all or nothing from Prome. And initially back at home, what do we have? We have a gate in the Cybercore setup. Second pylon is revealed. Oh, sorry, 2-gate opener. My apologies. I just assumed that was a Cybercore. So 2-gate opener out of Sigge. So going for a bit of a safer standard opener. Of course, because of his setup here, he won't be able to wall off the ramp. So his main base is going to be more accessible. True. And here come the Zealots. And again, Sigge has no idea. He's just now moving out across the map after the Cybercore, after the 2 gateways. So a later probe scout, and here comes the proxy. Here come the Zealots. They're waddling in. Now waddling in. Oh! First probe goes down. Meanwhile, Stalkers are being chronoed as we speak. Probes, they can mineral walk. Yeah, they get this around. The Zealots, they should not be in the mineral line. They're getting some probe kills, but they're going to be going down. Yeah, they get 6 probe kills. That's going to be 2 dead Zealots. There's 1 Zealot left, and already Prome is losing momentum. Again, like, the mineral line is exactly where Sigge wants to fight. So far, decent control, but still bleeding out 9 probes. And likewise, Shield putting in a lot of work. Takes down another Zealot. The Sword count is building up. We're now to an Adept as well. Leading out to 10 probes. But Sigge's still ahead. And he holds. And behind us, no gases. I wouldn't even be opposed to Sigge gas stealing, to be honest. Like, gas steal across the map. We're still making pure Zealots. I mean, that's going to be a lot of Zealots. Oh, brutal supply block, though. Yeah, supply blocked. Nice kiting. Likewise, there's a force field. Locking down the army. Who's locked in with who? The kiting is still solid. And again, like, Sigge should not be surrounded. Like, he should not lose this army. With good enough unit control, he should be fine. Warping it across the map. Gases are being taken, so didn't the gas steal, unfortunately. I would have I would have been all for gas stealing in this kind of game state. Once again, another force field. Locks down the Zealots. He can warp it across the map. There's the recall. And GG gets called. Yeah, Prome gets completely shut down. And Sigge, he will take the series 2-1, advancing on to the next round. GG. 2K Forge probably? No. The flower. Probably the flower. GG. Well played with that. Congratulations here. Sigge, he will claim the series. He will advance on. Shout out to Prome, though. It did make for a very entertaining series, especially the base trade, right? The base race that we saw where we were just knocking down all the buildings. Like, it was a wild turn of events. Again, a very dynamic series. Congratulations. Shout out to both players for making the series out of this. But congratulations to Sigge for claiming it in the end, for advancing on. GG, well played with that, congratulations. And now it is time to jump into the bracket to figure out where we are and where we're headed. Exclamation mark be in the chat to have a look at the bracket yourselves.